Array is one of the most important topic in programming. You will find yourself working with them in almost every project, so it is very important to have a good understanding of them. If I just go to the console and console log an empty array, you will see it has a lot of methods. Some are more important than others, and in this video I'm gonna show you 20 most important array methods in JavaScript. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, first we have the index of function. The index of simply returns the index of elements. So for example, if I say r.index of, actually, okay, let's uncomment this, and if we say array.index of, for example, let's say Jimmy, it will give us the index of Jimmy. So let's capture this in a variable like res for result equals to, and we can console log this, and it gives us 1 because the index of Jimmy is 0 1. If I say Julie, it gives us 2 because the index of Julie is 0 1 and 2. If I say something like Billy, which does not exist in array, it will give us -1. So if the index of function can find it, it will simply return -1. Okay, let's move on. Next up we have the find. Find is kinda similar to the array.index of methods, but let's see how it works. So we can say array.find. Now find takes a function as its argument, so we can say function and function will get a, this function will receive a parameter, so let's call it el for element, and let's console log it, see what it is. So log, and if we console log it, you see all the names are printed. So basically for each element in the array, this function will be executed. Now this function has to return something. So for example, we can say return el equals Jimmy. If we do this, we see nothing, but let's capture this in a variable. Oops. And if we log this, it returns Jimmy. If we say something like Billy, it returns undefined. So basically when this condition is true, it will return this element. So if I were to just say 1, or let's say true, it returns Johnny, because for the first time the condition is true and the element was Johnny, so it simply returns Johnny and it does not look for other elements. So that's how it works. But this is not very useful, so okay, let's go back. Just simply getting the element is not that useful, but let's go to another example. What if we had a complex structure like this? So we have an array of objects and we want to find the object that has an ID of 2. How would we do that? In that case, the array.find method would be really useful. Let's see how. So we can say let res equals to array.find, actually it's data not array, so data.find, and we know it takes a function as argument, and it will receive a parameter called, let's call it obj for object, and we can simply return obj.id equals 2, and we have to return it. So now if we log this, it gives us the object that has the ID of 2. So this is one of the use cases of array.find. Okay, let's comment this out. By the way, I'll leave the link to source code in the description. Then we have the array.push. The push simply adds a new element at the end of the array. Let's see. So we can simply say array.push and whatever we want to add. So if I say 6 and that console log the array, you'll say it. Then now the array has 6 at the end. Now the array.push also returns something, so let's see what it is. So let res equals to, and then we can simply console log the res. It returns 6. Now this 6 is not actually this 6, so if we had 7, it still returns 6. So this 6 is basically the length of array after pushing the element. So right now the length of the array is 3, 4, 5. After pushing, the length will be 6, so it returns 6. Okay, let's comment this out. Pop is the opposite of push. While push will add a new element at the end of the array, pop will remove one element from the end of the array. Let's see. So we can say array.pop, and now if we log, okay, let's put it in a new line, and if we say array, you will see now the array is only 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5 was removed. Just like push, pop also returns something, so we can say let res equals to, and we can say res, so it returns 5. Basically pop returns the element that was removed from the array. Now we have shift. While pop removes one element from the end of the array, shift removes one element from the beginning of array. So let's see. So we can say array.shift, and if we log this, as you can see, the 1 was removed from the array. Let's comment this out. Unshift is the opposite of shift, so basically it is used to add an element at the beginning of the arrays, like array.unshift, and we can add whatever, let's say 0, and if we log this, as you can see, 0 was added at the beginning of our array. Splice. While the push, pop, shift, unshift are used to add or remove element at the beginning of or ending of array, we can use the splice function to add element in anywhere in the array or remove it. So let's see how it works. So we can say array.splice is splice. So the first one is the index, where starting index. So let's say 0, 1, we are gonna start here, and the number of elements. So if we say 2, and now if we log this, as you can see, 3 was removed from the array. So basically what we're saying, we're gonna start here and we're gonna go to index, but not up to 2 index, but until 2 index. So 3 was removed. Now if we were to say 200 here, as you can see, 3 was removed and 200 was added in place of that. Another one is slice. Slice is used to slice a portion of the arrays, like we can say let res equals to array.slice. It takes 2 parameters. One is the starting index, so we can say 2, and one is the ending index, so we can say 4. Now if we log the res, As you can see, we get 3 and 4. Another one is join. Join function simply joins each of the element of the array. So we can say let res equals to array dot join. So if we now log this, it says I am a string. So basically it was joined with a comma. Now it doesn't have to be joined with a comma, you can pass an argument here. So if we give a space here, as you can see it was joined with a string. We can pass basically anything here. So if we pass a hyphen here, as you can see it was concatenated with a hyphen. Another function is concat. Concat is used to basically join two array together. So let's say let res equals to, first we are gonna say array1 dot concat, and we are gonna concatenate with array2. Now if you log this, as you can see we get two array combined. Another very useful array function is sort. So let's see how this works. So we are gonna say array dot sort. It takes a function gets two parameters, let's call them a and b. A and b are basically two consecutive array elements. So basically it can be 3 and 5, 5 and 1, 1 and 9, etc. And we have to return something. So if we return a minus b, and if we log the array, as you can see the array was sorted in ascending order. If we were to say b minus a, now the array is sorted in descending order. So another thing we can do is sort array by a key of an object. So let's see how this would work. So we have a data that has an array of object like so, and we want to sort the array based on the ID. So how we do that? We're simply gonna say data dot sort and here we're simply gonna return. Now here you have to understand then a and b will be this object. So what we can say is a dot id minus b dot id. And now if we log the data, as you can see the array was sorted based on the ID. Reverse function simply reverses the array. So we can say array dot reverse, and if we log, oops, as you can see the array was reversed. Now another very useful function is map. Let's see how map works. So we can say array dot map, and this also takes a function as argument. So we can say function, and basically for each of the element this function will be executed, and it accepts two parameter. One is the current element, and another one is index, which is the index of the element. So if we console log them, say el and index, if we do this, you see we get the elements of array like 1, 2, 3 and their indexes. So why is this useful? So basically the way array map works is it returns a new array. Let's see what is that. So let res equals to, and if we console log res, As you can see, it gives us an array, but all the elements is undefined. So why is that? So the array.map will return an array of all the elements that we return from the function. So if we were to return 1, now as you can see, we get 1, all 1. And if we say el, we get the same elements returned. Now it can be useful to, for example, create a new array of all the previous elements multiplied by 2. So like so. As you can see, now we get a 2 array. We get another array that is the multiplied, that is first arrays all element multiplied by 2. Okay. Another one is flat. The flat basically is used to flat out a multi-dimensional array. So let's see. So we can say array.flat flat, and if we console log the array now, as you can see, nothing changes. That's because the array.flat doesn't changes the original array, but it returns a new array. So we can say let res equals to, and then console.log the res, and now you can see the array was converted into a single dimensional array. Okay, but what if the array was more than 2 dimensional? So for example, now the array has 3 dimensions, 1, 2, 3. So what happens if we try to flat this? As you can see, it was flatted, but only to 2 dimensions, but not further. So in the as a argument we can pass the depth of the array. So if we were to say 3, now it is completely flatted. Now instead of passing a number, we can pass infinity, and now doesn't matter how deep the array is, it will be converted into flat array. So like so. Now another one is flat map. First let's see what's happening here. So basically I have an array of sentences and I want to convert it into an array of words. So I'm saying sentences.map. So for each of these sentences I'm gonna split them in spaces. So split basically splits the array based on whatever we give here. So if we were to split it by space, it will split the array based wherever it sees a space. So basically this will be converted into an array of consisting of word like JavaScript array flat map. So let's see, let's console log this. Now as you can see, the array was in fact converted to words, but now it is a multi-dimensional array. So if we were to convert it into a single dimensional array, we could simply just say flat flat, and it will flat out the array. Oops. As you can see, now it is a pure JavaScript array with words. Now basically we're doing this in a 2-line, but if we want, we can do it in just one statement, and that is flat map. So flat map basically returns single dimensional array. As you can see, the result is the same. So flat map is basically map and then flat. Okay, let's move on. The reduce is the most difficult array method in JavaScript. Let's see how this works. So we can say array.reduce. It takes a function. The function will receive 2 parameters, so we usually call them accumulator, let's call it acc, and the value. Let's console log it and see what's happening. As you can see, first we get 34, 64, undefined 29, undefined, and 44. So what is exactly happening here? So the reduce function actually takes 2 arguments. The one is the function and another one is initial value of accumulator. So in this case we are not actually passing anything as a second argument. So if we don't pass anything, the accumulator will become the first value of the element in the array. But if we pass something, let's say 0, and now the accumulator is 0, and the values are going to be these elements. So for each of the elements this function will run. Now why the accumulator becomes undefined after the first iteration? That's because after each iteration the accumulator becomes whatever we return from the function. Since we are not returning anything, it is becoming undefined. But if we were to return 1, for example, actually I have spelled return wrong. As you can see, now after the first iteration the accumulator is 1 for each cases. Now instead of that, what we can say is we can simply return the accumulator. Now the accumulator will be the same. If we were to say something like accumulator plus the value, so what is happening? So basically in each iteration we are adding the element in the array. So basically we are creating as a sum of the array. So if we were to capture the result in the variable and console log it, now we are basically getting the sum of the array. So basically after all the iteration is done, the reduce function will return what is the last value of the accumulator is, and we can instead pass 200 here, and as you can see now the sum is 371 because the accumulator starts at 200 and then for each iteration these elements gets added to the accumulator. Okay, let's see how we can remove duplicates from array using array.reduce function. So here I have an array that contains some duplicates. So here we have 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 6, and we want to remove the duplicate. So what we can say is let res for results equals to array.reduce, and we know reduce takes a function as its argument, so we can say function. The function will receive accumulator and value, and we're gonna set the initial value of accumulator as an empty array. And now for each iteration we'll check if accumulator dot index of value equal -1. So we know the index of function returns -1 if it can find the value. So basically now we're checking if the accumulator does not consist the value. If it doesn't, we're simply gonna push the value to accumulator. So we can say accumulator dot push the value. But if it already contains the value, we won't do anything, and at the end we're simply gonna have to return the accumulator. So if you say return accumulator and let's console.log the result, as you can see we get an array of all the unique elements. So we only have 1, 2, 1, 4 and 1, 6. So that's how we can remove duplicates from array. Now reduce write is basically same as reduce, so we can copy this, paste it here, uncomment this, and instead of reduce we can say reduce write, and if you run it we get the same result. But now let's console log the accumulator and values. So accumulator and value. So basically what's simply happening is instead of starting from this direction, the reduce write starts iterating from this direction, but everything else is same as array.reduce. Another one is filter. Let's see how this works. Filter is used to filter out the elements. So we can say let results equals to, we can say array.filter. It takes a function as an argument. the function will get element passed as its parameter. So again, just like map, for each element in this array this function will run. And now if we were to return true here and console.log the result, as you can see the array is same as this array. So the array that filter returns a new array that contains all the element for which this function returns true. So instead of saying true, we could say element which is greater than 3. Now it will be only true if the element is greater than 3. So let's see what happens. So now we have an array that contains elements that are greater than 3. So that's how array.filter works. Another one is array.sum. Sum is kinda like filter, but let's see how it works. So we can say array.sum. It takes a function will get the element, and now we're gonna say something like return element is greater than 3. Let's capture the result of this in a variable. So let res equals to, and we can console.log the result. Now it gives us true. Why is that? So basically the sum function will return true if this function returns true for any of the elements. So we're here returning element is greater than 3. Now 4 is greater than 3, so it's returning true. Now if we were to say 4 element is greater than 4, now only for this element this function will be true, because it is true for at least one function, it is returning true. But if we were to say 6, now no element is here is greater than 6, so if we run it, it gives us false. Okay, at last we have the every. Let's see how this works. So can again say let res equals to array.every. Now it takes a function and we can simply return something like it takes a function element. So we can say element is greater than 3. Now if we log this, as you can see it returns false despite that 4 and 5 is greater than 3. So basically in case of every, this function has to return true for each and every of the elements. So for 1 and 2 this condition will be false, so it is returning false. But if we were to say 0 and now every element is greater than 0, so it returns true. But if we had some condition for which 1 or 2 function returns false, it will return false. Okay guys, so that's gonna be it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.